Welcome. You're episode number 4, Seth, of my new podcast. You know the name of my podcast?
I'm a guess.
I said guess it. So you're not on Twitter or you don't follow me or any of that?
Well, most of my time is spent gaming. I don't look at Twitter as much as I game.
Okay, understandable. So what is it?
Chats with HECZ.
That's right on?
Really?
That's the name.
Wait, no, it's not.
It's Chats HECZ. No, it's called the Eavesdrop. The podcast is called the Eavesdrop, and this is episode number 4.
Am I giving information out?
No. What do you mean?
Oh, so like they're eavesdropping on us.
Yeah, that's the name of the Eavesdrop podcast.
That's pretty clever.
With OpTic, today's guest.
You've always been good with titles. I'm not very good with titles.
My little brother, Nate yesterday was a part of this, and now my favorite of all my sons, Scumpy, Seth, Abner.
That one's recording me, right?
Yeah.
All right.
You can look at it. And
it's just all right.
Anyway, thank you for making time for me. I thought, well, you kind of didn't have a choice. I kind of guilt tripped you into it.
First of all, welcome to my humble abode. This is the first time you've been here.
I don't know about humble, man. It's really nice. The garden is popping out there. If I were you, I would throw my cats out there and then just leave them out there and get a dog. That's what I would do personally.
Yeah. I don't even like them.
Have you ever thought about getting a dog instead of a cat?
Oh, yeah, right when I moved. First thing, dog.
Yeah, but you can't have dogs and cats.
Yeah, I can.
Have you ever heard of the term fighting like cats and dogs?
Yeah, they fight. It's awesome. It's hilarious. Okay, we gotta cut that.
Yeah,
we don't promote
PETA.
animal. Yeah, we don't promote animal violence here.
It's a podcast where it's a long
fighting is fun.
Play fighting. The way that Henry and Benji Pablo do it. Anyway, I have a lot of things to discuss with you. Obviously, we came out for a really, really rough year. We just had some really, really good news in Call of Duty and all that. But for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, because there's a podcast that's gonna broaden. It's not just within Call of Duty.
Wait, hold up. I'm episode 4.
Yeah.
Who the hell is in front of me?
David Vonderhaar.
Lame.
I talked to him about it. I didn't get to meet the developer that shitted on you in that thing, but I did bring it up, and he was like laughing. He said that the developer was like on cloud 9, so happy that he
yeah, dude, they camped the gas on us because they saw us in the game. It looked like it. I was streaming, so I was getting stream sniped all night. This was like 8 hours into my stream, right? So I was getting stream sniped the first like 3 or 4 hours of my stream. I was getting so mad. So we're having a good game. We both have like 10 kills, right? So we're having a good game. I'm like, I'm gonna get to post this on YouTube. It's gonna be great, content. So there's like 13 remaining. The gas is moving in. We just kill a team, and then there's 2 people laying in the grass, just camping the gas, waiting for us to come out.
Are you sure they were in the gas?
They were like towards the safe zone. They were outside the safe zone, but they were like camping the edge because the gas was coming in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
And they were just laying behind a tree. I killed one of them. The other one killed me. And I got so pissed. I was like, that was a stream snipe. Like,
he was like, that kid, I've seen that kid before.
Yeah, because he was in one of my games earlier too. Yeah. That's what made it even more fishy. Yeah. So I was like, bro, I just got stream sniped.
Yeah, I mean, was it an open beta?
Did I look like a douche?
No, of course not. No.
You don't think so?
I don't think you've ever looked like a douche in your life.
After Vaughn tweeted me, I felt like a douche because I was like,
you called him a kid and shit.
Yeah, because I didn't know.
No, they didn't care. The thing with
he came into my chat after and was like, I'm a dev, and I didn't believe that either. I was like,
well,
you're a dev, yeah, okay.
Who are you gonna believe?
Yeah, right? I was like, you're a dev.
You can't believe anyone on the internet. The thing with that is that I don't think they create this piece of art, right, and then they get to play against you, which is the beauty of esports. At no point and in no time are you ever going to get a chance to go shoot free throws with or 3-point or play 21 with LeBron James. You're never going to hear Peyton Manning or whoever say this. Meet me at the park. We're going to throw the ball around.
You're just crushing dreams.
Yeah. What do you mean?
That'd be cool. I'm never going to be able to do it.
No, you're never going to be able to do it. But in esports, if you play the same game as one of your favorite professionals, you are going to run into it, especially in the new in Blackout because of how good the game is. And we'll get into that. But overall, it was a good conversation with Dave, and they did say they were super happy about the fact that they downed Yeah, and I told him, look, he just came off a really shitty year. I can't believe you guys are like making him.
It was 2v1.
Guilting him. Was Crim down?
No, I think he was dead. I think it was me alone, and I had like 10 or 12 kills, something like that. It was a good game. Because I was pissed.
Did you play the game a lot? Blackout?
Yeah, I played across both platforms. I want to say I won 40 to 50 matches somewhere in there, and I had like a 25% win ratio. So I probably played like around like 220 matches overall.
220 matches,
which is a lot. I mean, you think about Battle Royale games. If you stretch those out, you stretch those games out, you make it to the end.
2,200 minutes.
That's like a 25 minute game.
Damn. It says how many hours you played on that. Did you
I didn't
look
check
at that?
It. No.
By the time it was all said and done, I think I had on PC. I think I had 13 hours played. On PlayStation, I had close to like 20 hours played. Didn't win a single match unless I was playing in. I mean, I did. The majority of my games were squads.
You didn't win a match,
but I never won a single. No, I didn't. I got
See, that's what I'm worried about. Like, I didn't have my best year. Age is creeping up. Like the Grim Reaper, he's just knocking on my door. And then there's you, the 36-year-old phenom, didn't win a single game.
But I was shitting on them. The one times I would die to people.
You didn't win a game. You weren't shitting on anybody.
I would get 7 average. My minimum 7 kills.
It doesn't matter. You're
average.
not winning the game.
No. How can I win a game?
See, I was winning games with 15 kills.
Okay, but you're a professional Call of Duty player. I'm not. And although I have been playing it longer than you, I would get killed from behind, or like I would get bullshitted on the armor.
You gotta stop your legs down there. I just see them just going.
Restless legs.
I have it too, but
I would take a pill, but the side effects include like bleeding from the buttocks and stuff. Did you know that if you take that RLS pill, one of the side effects is
RLS a real thing?
Yeah, restless leg syndrome.
Isn't that like a branch of anxiety?
Restless leg syndrome. Yes. And if you take a pill to solve it, like one of the side effects, yeah, sure, but not anxiety. The way that some people suffer. This is more of a tic, if anything. It just
you're anxious when you're.
I'm not anxious. This is something that I'm doing. It's just like I need a fidget spinner for my knees, if that's what if I was to put it in there. But one of the side effects is bloody stools. You know what a stool is.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Tree trunks.
Let's move on.
Little chorizo.
That's disgusting, dude. Moving on.
10 scale 1 to 10. What do you rank it?
I gave it a 7-8. I think there needs to be armor tuning. Mm-hmm. Obviously, a lot of people have been saying that. I'm curious to see if there's any more guns in the game. I think that they gave us all the guns in the beta, but I'd be curious. See if there's more guns. That would be awesome. And then obviously the gas needs to hit a little bit harder. That was another main concern of mine. Like they did patch it. They did make it a little bit better, but it needs to hit harder like earlier because people can sprint while healing. So it's like you're sprinting while healing in the gas. You can just sit in the gas all game and just run,
Yeah.
So that needs to be patched. But and then moving into like the cosmetics and stuff like that are going to obviously be released when the real game comes out. So like weapon skins, different characters, stuff like that. Whenever that all comes out, if they patch the game correctly, which I feel they'll do, I think it's gonna take over PubG and that audience because a lot of PubG players and streamers and H1 players were loving it.
Yeah. Well, what's there not to love? It was a less clunkier game. It was smooth from the beginning. And look, I'm not shit talking PUBG. I hope PUBG continues to.
Oh, I mean, thrive. It's still gonna be fine. Like people who like PUBG are gonna. It's gonna be great.
We obviously have a PUBG team. Hypog, Hedror, Valier, and my boy Bahawaka. They enjoyed it. Do you think that there's room? Let's say they announce it. That there's going to be a Blackout esport. Do we just transition them into that since we already have a PUBG team like that, or do you think that we go out and scout new people and leave them in there? Because obviously, in doing that, you obviously running the risk of exiting an esport. I mean,
if it's possible, and COD teams can play while competing, then just take our team.
Okay. What do you mean your team?
Well, not everyone to PC. Obviously, I'm the only one from our team that can go to PC right now.
Do you think that?
Maybe Crim6.
Yeah, because I've seen a lot of people be really, really good at it.
Well, no, definitely Crim6 too.
Yeah.
I can't announce our other players, but they don't play PC. they're just
Do you think that you would be able to do that? Let's say, obviously, there's how many events? Did they say how many events total this year?
6.
6 events this year.
That's including champs, playoffs. I think so. There's going to be 4 open
one
events.
every other month, essentially.
And one every month and a half, 1.5 months to 2 months.
Let's say they sprinkled in 3 tournaments for PubG.
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of I don't know the schedule yet, but I feel
there's freedom.
If there's 6 events, there's going to be windows where you can have an event 3 weeks later, have a blackout event, 3 weeks later, another COD event, 3 weeks later, another blackout event. You know what I'm saying? So cut it in half.
I would find it not only interesting but super exciting if we were able to do that. It'd be like playing a brand new. It's just like playing a different mode. You play CTF. You played, Heist is going to be the new one. I don't know if that's going to go into competitive or not. Did you get a chance to play it? No, right? Because you were in the middle of.
The hell's Heist?
So you didn't get a chance to play it at all.
I don't even know what it is.
Heist. This is. I don't want to say it's like Counter-Strike because I don't want to drive
it.
It's the game where.
Okay, yeah.
It's kind of like Counter-Strike, but I don't. We S&D. We play S&D in Call of Duty. That came from Counter-Strike as well. Gun game that came from Counter-Strike as well. So I don't see anything wrong personally in that because we do come up with our own game modes. But I think that Heist is a good one because of the level of tactics that it takes to win the game. I did win a lot of those, obviously, because
I didn't get the chance to play that, so I can't even pitch in on it. Do you get armor, pistol rounds? Obviously,
you do, but it's weird because
shotguns are way better in COD than Counter Strike.
Yeah, and the perks that you pick up apparently last you the entire game. So if you pick up Dead Silence at the beginning of the game, then you're good with it towards the end. And what's crazy is that everything that you see in PUBG, everything that you see in Blackout, it's the same way that you saw in there. So picking up guns and it's the same thing. So the health kits, it's like the exact same thing. So we could have put 2 and 2 together if everyone tried to do that. You streamed a lot of it, and last year was one of the toughest years we've had as a team. You personally took it, a little bit too personal in my opinion. And you didn't stream a lot. Obviously, now that Blackout is going to be out, do you foresee that you're going to come back to content creation? Because it's an important thing. And I personally get mad at you and anybody that doesn't create content because although I understand that you're a competitive player and that's your sole focus and should be your sole focus, there is this sort of livelihood that you're leaving on the table that will help you in the future. So for me, it's always been like this tough thing. And we had such a tough and rough year that I kind of let you guys do what you guys wanted to do, but I don't think that I can let you just not do shit for the next, another season. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, at the end of the day, you're on a team, right? So if you're doing content and you feel like content is hindering your ability and or making you stressed or, just an extra thing to do every day.
Yeah.
You don't want that to brush off onto the 3 other people that are, now 4 other people. You don't want to brush that off onto your team. So my focus was be the best I could be, and obviously something just didn't click because I was playing a lot.
Yeah.
And something just didn't click with that game and me, and I don't think that the internet here helped me either. But I think, honestly, though, I need to be more selfish. I need to be more selfish with content creation because that's when I'm having fun. When I'm streaming, when I used to stream scrims and used to roast our teammates, and then you get to look over to the chat and everyone's just laughing my ass off. That makes it more fun and more engaging. So it's one side of me wants to say, you guys, this is my team. We're running it this way. We're streaming scrims. We're doing this. I don't care what you say. We can put this extra content out for our fans and they'll love it.
Yeah.
And then the other side of me is I don't want to have to deal with us losing scrims and then us going to a tournament losing and then us coming back and streaming and getting that same hate. It's it's really just a tear in the center. And I came out and said it as well. I flat out just didn't like World War II.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to force myself to play a game that I don't enjoy because that takes the whole point away.
Do you think that had something to do with the fact that you maybe didn't have the same sort of year that you had in the last 10 years?
Maybe.
How old are you now?
23.
And you've been competing since 17? 16?
15.
15. When did you start on OpTic? When you were 16?
17 probably.
17.
16 and a half, 17.
Yeah. So, you've obviously proven yourself to be, who you are. And then you have this sort of shitty year where, you know, not everybody, but, you know, a lot of people were like, did he lose it? You know, has he hit a wall? Is he bored? But there was a lot of behind the scenes stuff that you haven't shared. You know, the internet stuff you shared all the way to the end.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I didn't get... And people give me criticism for it. And even Crim6 was like, why didn't you just move? And it's like, bro, I can't just pack up and move. Like, obviously that would be the best decision, but I can't just do it. Mm-hmm. But now it's like I'm moving to Texas. I'm going to have gigabit internet that's going to work. And even if it doesn't work, your house is 2 minutes away. I can literally jog there. So, I mean, at this point, well, going back to what I was saying, I didn't have a single legitimate day of practice all of last year. I was red barring 80 to 90% of the days that I was playing in Scrim. So it's like I would go to a LAN and it's like...
It's a different game.
It's a completely different game. And people don't take that into consideration either. Like, I did not have a single good day of practice.
And because you didn't have a single day of practice, you also sort of transmitted these sort of negative vibes towards the team because they were frustrated with the fact that...
I mean, the internet probably broke our team up, to be honest, as bad as that sounds.
Yeah. I mean, there were, you know, like, how far does Carly's dad live from here? And do they have good internet?
25 minutes and... ish.
Yeah, right. So it wasn't a thing where you could just like gone somewhere. I mean, getting an office space like out here is like almost near impossible to do that. And then I don't know if people know this, but the internet that you get at home, let's say, is $100 a month for a gigabyte internet.
I'm paying $600 a month just for my line here, and it still doesn't work. So then there's the residential line as well. I bought a business line to try to, you know, get rid of the problem. Yeah. So I bought a $600 a month business line here, which is 400 by 100 or 400 by 400, something like that. But it's like supposed to be really good, and I'm paying $600 a month on internet right now that doesn't work.
Are you paying it? I wouldn't pay that shit. Forget that. I wouldn't send a bill, and I would almost go as far as...
That hurts my credit then. So
True.
I can't not send the bill.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
So they're literally robbing me at gunpoint right now.
Yeah. Who is
Cox Cable.
Cox Cable.
I've already roasted him so...
Don't get Cox Cable if you're in
many
California.
Times. They hit me up and they're like, are you hardwired to your PS4? And I'm like, yeah, I'm hardwired to my PS4.
Like, who do you think this is?
Like, I'm a professional gamer with 2.1 million followers. You think I'm not hardwired? You're playing on Wi-Fi still? Yeah. Like, come on. No flex intended, but like, come on.
Like, you've been doing this for a while.
Use your mind.
Yeah, not only that, but like the internet access. So any troubleshoot option. Every single time when we were in Illinois and I called Comcast, I would say, "Listen, I've done every single."
I don't think you're supposed to shake this.
Why? It's kombucha, man.
I don't think it's still carbonated.
Let's see. Give it a shot. Open it up.
Oh shit! I don't think you're supposed to. It's gonna burst.
No, see, you'll be good.
It's 100% bursting.
So for those of you who are listening only, Seth just shook what is that called?
You saw it. It was about to go.
Yeah. What is it called?
Kombucha.
Kombucha,
whatever.
Kombucha, you can open it.
No, you can't. Trust me. Bruh.
You just gotta let the gas out little by little. And then you just open it. Man. There you go. Still dad. Wisdom of an old man. You know, obviously, like, all that aside, the frustrations that came from that, was there anything else that you think may have like led to the, you know, sort of demise of the dynasty that we had going on? Because you know, I obviously experienced it firsthand, and we know that, but there were, it wasn't just that, it was several things. I mean, when there's turmoil behind closed doors and you're winning, you can push past it. But when I
don't know how there was turmoil at all, to be honest. It sort of just like appeared and then never went away. I don't want to go too deep into it, obviously, because I don't want to put that business out there. But it's sort of like, it felt like one moment everything was great, and then like it felt like I went to bed one night, woke up, and then it just was a downward spiral. It was so weird. I mean, that's all I'm gonna say on it. Yeah. But it was like, it was strange how it all happened, because like you think it's never gonna end. Yeah. You think, oh my God, we're winning, we're never gonna stop winning, like we're the best players ever, and it's like, I don't know.
Do you think if you could go back and change certain things, would you? Would you still want to have that sort of dynasty team that we had? Because it wasn't all bad. Obviously, like we had awesome times, you know, hanging out and winning again is, you know,
my favorite moment, winning champs, and then in the hotel lobby, Duncan's like got 3 bottles of champagne. We all walk in, and I'm like, yeah. Like, no freaking way. Like, that was like the best night of my life. I had so much fun. Like, that was the best night of my life.
I don't think, in retrospect, us popping the bottles like that and just spraying everyone, maybe it wasn't that cool.
Well, we didn't spray everyone.
We sprayed each other.
Everyone's like sees you though. Like EG won champs and they walked in the lobby and they all like went out to a team dinner and then they all came back to the bar individually and just hung out.
Yeah.
Us, we were just in the lobby like we.
Well, dude, think about how long we've been chasing this. Like, I don't know any other way to react when
gotta celebrate that.
Yeah, man.
Got to.
Especially because
you gotta celebrate the good times.
Let me ask you this: was EG the best team in World War II?
No.
But they won though. They won championships.
Not even close. I mean, that's no disrespect to EG.
Yeah.
They didn't even think they were the best team going into champs.
Right.
I can assure you that. They just did it. I was saying to Assault and Apathy after they won, I was like, don't let anyone talk. I was drunk, obviously. I was like, don't let anybody talk shit to you saying you don't deserve it. You guys got lucky. You guys had an easy bracket. You guys did it at the end of the day, and that's it.
That's all that matters.
You guys did it, and I was like, congrats. Nobody expected it, and you guys...
Who was, in your opinion, the best World War II team? TK, Rise?
Rise,
100%.
I mean, through the whole game, I mean, you can argue TK at the end, but I think Rise, just throughout the whole course of the game, was always like that team. I mean, even TK, shit, it's kind of hard. They were like neck and neck, I guess, because TK won 3 events, Rise won 3 events.
Right. So I guess my question to round that out is, do you feel as though you're not the best team unless you win the big one? Because that's sort of the culture.
I've never thought that. And I think people that think that are idiots.
Yeah.
People are like, you haven't won champs. I'm like, I've won 26 tournaments, you idiot. Like, what do you think I get nervous at champs? Like, I've gotten third twice. Like, what do you think I just go up there, I've dropped 1.3s at champs, got third? Like, you think I just suck at champs? Like, that's not how it works.
No.
Sometimes you get lucky. You lose around 11, you lose champs.
Yeah.
You weren't the best team. It's
50-50,
like they beat us in one round of search, and then they beat us obviously on other maps. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But just hypothetically speaking, like you can lose one gunfight in CTF, and that loses you champs. It's like that's how fragile it is.
This culture that we create around, surrounding that, did that come from the pros, the community? Like, who did it? Like, what do you think made it happen? Because I've always been super against it, and I'm boisterous at that.
Obviously, you want to win. Everyone wants to win champs because the money. Most people want the money. I mean, the prestige is like also there, but at the end of the day, I've always said it's just another tournament. It's just on a higher level. Every tournament is the same. Everyone goes into it wanting to win. Everyone goes into it practice. I mean, obviously, champs a little more practice maybe, but everyone goes into a tournament wanting to win. No one goes into a tournament wanting to get second, wanting to get third. So, like, you discredit someone with 26 tournaments and they haven't won champs.
Yeah.
That's not like going up to LeBron and being like,
you're not the best currently because you didn't win. Because
they only have one tournament. Their one tournament is the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
Their playoffs. That's their one tournament a year. We have 9 tournaments a year. It's like, you can't just discredit those. People discredit my MW3 tournaments because there wasn't competition. And I'm like, most of you motherfuckers played. Yeah. So were you not competition? Yeah. A lot of the people played and they're like, nobody played that game. And I'm like, you played it. Yeah. What do you mean? And people, they just discredit it. So it's like, I mean, obviously champs has the most prestige and everyone wants to win it the most. But at the end of the day, there's more tournaments than champs.
Yeah. So the Doritos, I think it was the Doritos Bowl I got announced for Blackout. And those teams, I think Jack, Ninja, who else got invited to that? Do you know? I don't remember.
Damon.
Well, no, I'm saying like the teams. It was Jack's the captain, Ninja.
Shroud, maybe?
Shroud and somebody. Shroud's nasty.
Tim the Tatman?
Tim the Tatman? I don't know. Anyway,
I don't know. Maybe Dr. Disrespect. I don't know.
Yeah, my question on that.
I saw them have some Blackout promotional thing.
Yeah. So my question in that regard is: do you feel as though there's a place for that sort of show match? Like, it's not necessarily esports. It's still a competition, but it's more of a show match competition. If you look at the Keemstar, Fortnite Fridays, where those pros and personalities came together and did that. Do you think that there's that sort of opportunity there to where people in esports can back the up and say, yeah, let them do that? Like, I saw a lot of negative from esports, people. I saw a lot of negativity around it about, like, why is this guy in charge of, why is Keemstar in charge of this competition or that? And it's like, this dude just decided to get up and do it, and this happens in life forever. If you see something that you think you could do and somebody else goes and does it, you can't hate on that. You know what I'm saying?
You could try to do it better.
Yeah, you can try to do it better.
Capitalism, literally.
Yeah, and then if you look at, and on that note, when Keem started doing that, then Hitch, started throwing the co-ed tournaments. That was I thought that was one of
those did great.
Those incredible, yeah. And I thought it was a great idea.
Someone that runs a tournament, that's one day of the week. There's 6 other days of the week. Like, you're obviously not going to plan your birthday party on the same day as someone else's birthday party.
Yeah.
You're going to try to move them around.
Absolutely.
There's 6 more days in the week. You could have it one on Friday, one on Saturday. Who cares?
Yeah. So my question, to round that up, do you think that there's a place in which there could be sort of those show matches that Blackout can have, where you're the captain, but you can only pick personalities from the community, right? And that sort of thing. Or do you think, because there's 100 people that play in those things, right? And it's RNG, so you're never going to have true skill. I can land in the same house that you do in Nuketown, get a level 3 plus a shotgun, and you're stuck with a bando. Who's a better player? Who's a better Call of Duty player right there? You are still. You just don't have the weapons to do that. So I always, go back to the fact that as much as I would like to see some sort of esports surrounding, Battle Royale, and there's certainly strategy, and then, the way that you can, itemize the points or tabulate points, that does that. But as long as luck is involved, you will never be able to truly see, where...
You're losing me here.
Okay.
You branched off completely and went on a tangent. You were saying...
Is there a place for esports in Battle Royale Call of Duty Blackout?
See, I thought you were going the route of, do you think that these personalities should be the ones in these tournaments, or do you think the pros should be the ones in these tournaments?
Well, no, that's
where I thought you were going.
Yeah, I was going to round it out there.
So what's your question?
My first question, 1A. Okay, question 1A is, do you think that there is a world in which BR can be an esport? Call of Duty or otherwise?
Oh, yeah. Of course.
But there's luck is involved. Luck is a major factor of that.
There's luck in Call of Duty.
Not like it is here. Like the scenario that I painted where
obviously
I land
it's not the same, but there's places on the map you can land that other people aren't going to land, and you can get loot.
Right.
So you can eliminate the luck. Obviously, if they land at the same spot, I mean, you can run away, run to a different building. Like, there's things that you can do.
Yeah.
But obviously, if you get really unlucky, like SND, I look this way, and he came behind me a split second after I turned. Like, you got unlucky. You read it, and then you got unlucky. Like, that can happen in anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I just want to see your point of view on that. Now, do you think, from a show match perspective, do you think that there will be that where there could be that could exist without professional Call of Duty players getting salty about not being invited to get that money?
Who cares? Like, I mean, obviously, people want the money. Like, some people want the money more than others, but at the end of the day, who cares? Like, the personalities are in the position they're at because they put the work in and they built their fan base, And at the end of the day, the more eyes that are on Call of Duty, the better. Who cares who's playing in it? As long as, if Dr. Disrespect, Ninja, Shroud, Tim the Tatman, if they're all playing a tournament together, picking their teams, like, who cares who the hell they pick? We got 400,000 viewers on Call of Duty right now, which are bringing players in and bringing players back to the franchise that they left for Fortnite and PubG and all these other battle royales. Who gives a whatever we can do to get more people back, do it.
What do you say to people? What do you say to those people that are that negative that they just can't just shut the up and enjoy it for what it is? Just enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah, dude, who cares? Like, at the end of the day, it's fun. People are going to enjoy watching it. It's going to be a great event for Call of Duty and great publicity for Call of Duty. So at the end of the day, suck it up. Like, this isn't your time. You're getting 100 viewers on your stream. Like, these people are getting hundreds of thousands. Let them bring people in.
Yeah. Because when they get off, they're going to want to see something.
Let them bring people in. You have your competitive tournaments. If you don't get invited, stream more, build a fan base.
I agree. So, going back to the content, I think that with you guys not scrimming publicly, and this started happening.
I want to bring back scrims on stream. I don't understand why everyone went black in Call of Duty. Like, it actually makes a difference. Like, the only thing that you can learn from watching someone is, like, their break-off strategy.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. And most people have the same break-off strategy. Like, most teams have the exact same.
Explain that for
like
us
strategy?
dumb or not professional.
Like, in Hardpoint. That's what people were worried about last year. They were worried about their break-off strategy. Like,
when you say breakout strategy, it's like where you go as soon as the
I'm
clock
going.
ticks
Two
down?
of us are going top bricks. We're smoking gold window. Like, I'm going top white or top balk. Like, this is Gibraltar, and I'm going low bridge. Like, that's your break. That's your initial start of the game.
So it wasn't even search and destroy that people were concerned about.
Yeah, no, we don't scream. We don't even scrim search to start with. So who cares? Like, we don't even scrim that as teams anyway. I mean, some people do, but we did last year because we needed to, and we still sucked at it. But
when did it start? The whole
I don't know.
We're not streaming scrims.
It's been happening for a couple years now, and I just don't know why it happened. Like, I mean, personally, I'm not the person to go watch someone stream to watch their break off. Like, there are people that do that. Like, Crim6 does that, and he tells us, like, yo, this is what they do.
Yeah.
That's why people have coaches now, too.
Coaches do that,
People have coaches now, too. So that also adds into the watching effect. But I really don't think it makes that big of a difference. That's 5 seconds of the game. Obviously, the break off is very important in a hardpoint game that sometimes can set the pace for the whole map. But, like, at the end of the day, that's hours and hours and hours of content they are giving up for a gunfight that, I lost it. He knew my break off. Like, he probably didn't even know it. You probably just lost your gunfight.
I mean, I couldn't agree more.
Obviously, there's a lot behind it, but
yeah, I just think that as Call of Duty players, you guys are doing yourself a disservice. I mean, we even saw Patty Aches, tweet out that this was going to be one of the years where he tried to get out and create content. And when I read that, which is good. Yeah,
we need more people doing that.
Yeah, we need more people doing that, 100%. And I've always said it. I'm like, if we can have more teams doing what we did in Call of Duty, we could be up there with the giants that are the League of Legends, the Overwatches, I think so.
The thing is, we shouldn't have to do that for our game to be big. You know what I'm saying?
So
we have to.
What should we do then? How do you grow the game?
It's obviously a way to help, but we shouldn't have to do that. Like other games, like Counter-Strike, they rarely stream. Their pros rarely stream.
Yeah, but
they're always practicing. They're always
But if you look at Counter-Strike, the game that you play out of the box is the game that you're competing. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the same this year. It's 5v5 now.
Yeah. So it is 5v5.
Obviously, there'll be restrictions and stuff.
How do you feel about that?
I love it.
You're for it?
Yeah, I love it. Because I just love friendship. I get another teammate to crack jokes on. Like, I love that shit. That's my favorite part about competing is, like, having your teammates. Like, I love just having friends on the team. Because it's like, I get on every day. Like, I'm pissed off. It's like, he says something stupid. I'm laughing. Like, we're having fun. Like, that's what I love to do. Is
vibes like a major part of a team success?
You don't have to have vibes, but they help. Like, you don't want to not like someone on your team. You want to like everyone on your team, have a good time. Because at the end of the day, you want to win for the people next to you just as much as you want to win for yourself. And that goes back to the point we made earlier about, lack of content and stuff like that. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you want to have friends on the team.
Yeah.
It's just, why would you not want to be friends with your teammate?
Yeah.
You're trying to win money together. You're trying to win championships together. Like, why would you not want to be friends with your teammate? You know?
Yeah. The other thing is, obviously, in 2013, when we got the 60/50 Russell Drive, and we have to talk about 60/50 Russell Drive podcast because, we talked about it with Nate yesterday, and I'll bring it up. But, in 2013, when we were playing Black Ops 2, when we moved into the house, there was the opportunity for everybody's tide or boats to rise with the tide. Everybody's ship to rise with the tide. And I think that's something that is Call of Duty. We've only been able to master more than anybody else. And I was talking to Huis about this. There is no other esport out there that has had the same success on social media or YouTube the way that we have had from a personality perspective. I mean, if you look at it, if you pick the top 10 most followed esports personalities in the world, it wasn't until last year that people started to climb the ranks alongside Call of Duty.
Fortnite.
Well, Fortnite now, again, just recently. And Fortnite, for what it's worth, they have a lot of show matches that do that. And I appreciate Fortnite a lot. I like the game and all that. But I think that part of that was the fact that everybody, when somebody wasn't streaming, everybody would want to go to the person who's teaming with that person, so they can catch a glimpse. And then that's how you are able to grow somebody else's personality. I mean, if you look at it now with Blackout coming out the way that it is, and the ability for you to have those random shooting somebody out of a helicopter moments, I think that content is going to be one of the most important things this upcoming season to make Call of Duty, which I'm predicting to be like the most successful year we've ever had.
Blackout just gives you something to play that actually holds like replay value. Like Battle Royale, every single game is going to be different. Every single game, you can land at a different point.
Yeah.
You could get a different gun. You got different loot off the start. You have to play the situation different. Like Battle Royale in itself just holds so much diversity from game to game that's why the genre does so well with gamers in the first-person shooting category. Like Battle Royale is the future. It's the present as well, but I think Battle Royales are going to be the biggest games for till VR blows up and does something crazy where I can feel boobies.
VR, virtual, will that be augmented reality, AR, or is that?
I don't know. Till they give me some gloves that can feel some boobies.
Yeah, is that where you think VR is going?
That's all I'm playing.
The reason I ask is because in the previous podcast that I did with Wiz, we talked about VR extensively. If you guys haven't watched it, you guys can go back and see that. But we talked about VR and AR and where like it is and like the haptic suits and you know, your ability to be fooled by a virtual reality. So I think that there is what you're asking for will be a thing, but you have a girlfriend that you can do that in real life with. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, of course, but
because you would still have to have like
we're segueing off this.
Yeah, we are.
We can't go into this.
Back to content before we end up in that being sponsored by someone. Anyway, so what do you think? What do you recommend to somebody like Pat who's about to start? You know, doing that, because if there are other pro players that are watching this, which I hope they are, what is it, man? Is it just doing it? Just
People
being consistent?
give up. People give up. It's as simple as that. Like us, we got lucky. We didn't have to put as much time in as you're actually supposed to put time in. Like we blew up pretty fast because we were one of the first people to do the team house and do it right.
Yeah.
And do the content creation in the team house and everyone's feeding off each other, vlogs, stuff like that. So like people expect their success to be instant, which it's just not. It's simply not. You have to put years and years and years. I'll use Ninja as an example. He was streaming consistently Halo Pro for 7 years and he was not pulling nearly what he pulls today, obviously, because now he's the biggest streamer, but he was pulling like 2,000, 3,000 viewers playing Halo for so long. Yeah. And whenever he finally got off of Halo, went to games with bigger fan bases, you know, things started happening for him. He started building a fan base day by day by day by day. Yeah. 2 years straight of that. Now look at him. He's on the cover of ESPN.
Yeah, and I think like his ability to play the way that he plays like helped. The ability for him to say, "I'm gonna go play H1Z1 where there's a bigger audience," and then just grinding it out until somebody gets off the game and now he gets a little bit of the rainfall.
Now he's first, and now he's getting new eyes. That's how Twitch works.
Yeah, because just because you're tired of streaming doesn't mean that people are tired of watching.
You got to build a base.
Yeah,
you got to build a base to make the pyramid. You know what I'm saying? You got to.
Yeah, unlike in traditional sports, in video games, people who compete against each other do play with each other a lot. I mean, you see it in Money 8s. Everyone's friends. Everyone's at the bar after every match.
Well, friends. Most people are friends.
Yeah.
But, you know what I'm saying?
They're friendly. You know.
Frenemies.
Whatever it is. You know, when you're competing, you hate each other, but when you're off of it, there's this sort of camaraderie that comes with being a Call of Duty, player and a Counter-Strike, like across all of esports. This is like, again, the only place that this happens. And I'm not saying that, traditional players aren't friends with each other, obviously, right?
Most people, I'm friends with like 98% of people.
Right.
That play. Okay.
So on the back of that, there's a massive opportunity for people like Pat, right? Or people like, pick any pro out there that's not creating content right now. To say, you know what, I'm gonna start creating content, and they hit you up. Seth, you want to play? Like that is a thing. You get along with them. I mean, think about like the people that you get along with that aren't on your team that you already play with, and if they only made the effort to hit a button and just mute something, say something to the chat, and be presentable, like
you want to know something? Streaming is like going to the gym. The hardest part for the gym, you just go. That's the hardest part, is walking out of your front door. The hardest part about streaming is hitting start streaming. Yeah. Because once you're streaming, it feels natural. Like obviously if you're first time streaming, you might be a little nervous, whatever, stuff like that. But once you like get into the rhythm of streaming every day, like it becomes natural. It becomes almost therapeutic where you're hanging out with people and you can say something and it's like, I'm making people laugh. LOL. Like you see it in the chat. That's therapeutic to me whenever I like crack jokes and I just see the chat like loving it. Yeah. Well, obviously
the gym, the hardest thing to.
Yes, that's where I was. Okay. Thank you. But yeah, whenever people have 50 viewers, have 45 viewers, they think I'm not doing something right.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you look at Fortnite right now, there's one person with 30,000.
Yeah.
This is late night. So like say Tfue, he's got 30, 40,000. Next person under him has like 15. And then after that, it's a severe drop off. Like I'm talking, there's one person with 6,000 and then 1,500, 1,000. Like those people right there, they should be streaming until, like you said, those people get off and then trickle down, get some new viewers, get some new eyes. You should be streaming like 10 hours a day, even if you have 50 viewers. Like whenever people stop streaming, people are going to come to your stream. Maybe you get a one-time host. Maybe I host you. Maybe Jack hosts you. Maybe someone hosts you for 8,000 viewers, you know? Yeah. That, I don't know specifics, but I know of people that's happened to them once, and that has changed their whole streaming career.
Look at Jack.
Now they average 1,000. Yeah, look at Jack. Yeah. Jack is a perfect example. Went into Fortnite.
Yep.
Obviously fresh on the scene, just came out of Call of Duty, so he had a good base. Gets hosted by Ninja, gets hosted by Dr. Lupo.
Plays with Ninja, plays with Dr. Lupo.
Plays with Ninja, plays with Dr. Lupo, plays with Tim the Tap Man. You know, that's a lot of people watching you play.
But he wouldn't be able to do that unless he put in the hours that he's been putting in the way that you're saying.
Of course. And obviously Jack's a lovable guy, so he just was himself on stream. He dances, he does all the stupid shit, and people love it. And people love Jack. And now he has a stable viewership on Fortnite. Every time he's on Fortnite, he's getting anywhere from like 5,000 to 8,000 viewers, which is incredible.
Yeah.
Like
that is nuts.
Yeah.
Like I've seen, I just took him to go buy his first Rolex. We talked about it in the last podcast, so we won't get too deep into it. But I took him. I had to cheerlead him a little bit because he was like, "Oh man, I don't know. I don't usually spend money on myself and this and the other." I'm like, dude, you want this watch? It's gonna make you feel good. It's gonna make you smile. It's gonna be, well, put it on the wrist instead of the bank. You know, the level of interest that you're getting out of a bank account for, $15,000 is not gonna be the same that you get for the feeling of accomplishing something. And it's not about the watch, and it's not about how much it costs.
Treat yourself. Show yourself what you're doing is real. Like, oh shit, I just bought a Rolex.
Yeah, it's the ability.
You don't need a 50,000 bust down, diamonds in it, stuff like that. But a nice $8,000, $10,000 watch, like
for somebody like him that wants it, is the ability to say to yourself, I can do it, and I did it. Is more than the feeling that you have of knowing how much it costs. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion. So that
and stuff like that like rekindles you. You like sometimes, streaming, I'm going to be real with you. Sometimes it is a drag. And many people have said and went on to say like, I'm burnt out because it's a lot of work. Like people don't get it. People are like 9 to 5. I'd rather stream. And it's like, obviously you'd rather stream because obviously that's just way more fun. You're playing video games all day. But at the same time, it is a exhausting job. 10 hours a day, like I would love to see people try to do that.
Not only that, but from a professional.
It is so hard.
And a professional level, you scrim, and then you have to stream.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have to create content.
After scrims, my brain is a scrambled egg. Like after scrims, you're going through so many engagements, so many like quick thinking. Like after scrims, you're legitimately tired. And people don't get that. They're like, esports, how... like this isn't a sport. This isn't mentally, this is making you mentally fit, mentally draining. Yeah, and it's like, bro, I would love to see you try to do it. It's not easy.
Let's talk about the burnout and that last year. There was we talked. I
didn't get burned out. I just didn't like the game.
I know, yeah, but we talked about it. We talked about retirement. You had a little bit of doubt, and I don't think that
it wasn't because I didn't like competing. Because I'll always love.
We'll talk about it though. Don't just like right. Tell me. Like what was going through your head? How did a retirement even seem as a possible like thing for you?
I saw the golden apple, Fortnite. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously, I've always been a content creator, and my growth has been stagnant. Because in Call of Duty, it is so hard to grow at this point, just because the audience, there's like no growth in the audience. So like Fortnite, you have thousands and thousands of new players coming every single day, tens of thousands, like. Hundreds of thousands of players a month.
Yeah.
So you have all of these unique new viewers coming into the scene. Call of Duty, like, the viewers that are there are there. Like, I'm sure if you asked Ali A, I'll name drop someone, Ali A would probably say the exact same thing because he's been a Call of Duty YouTuber as well. T. Martin. people like that, it's like, it's so hard to grow in Call of Duty right now. I've been stuck at 2.3 million subscribers for the past probably 2 years. And it's like, I can't vlog because I'm gaming all day. I'm practicing all day.
Yeah.
So it's so hard to diversify your content whenever everyone expects you to upload Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Retirement for me sparked from the idea that maybe I can do the full-time streaming now because I know that I can do it. I know that I can do it. I've already done it.
Yeah.
Like, I know that I can do it. And if I didn't have to worry about anything every day besides waking up, 10 a.m., getting some food, maybe going to the gym, showering, hop on stream. Stream from 12 to 8. Get off, rest for a couple hours, watch TV, unwind, go to bed, have a content manager upload my videos for me, get back on the next morning, stream.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't seem hard to me anymore. That seems like something that I can do easily.
And less stressful.
Because I've done it, and it's 100% less stressful. I mean, obviously, you're worried about your growth and viewership and stuff like that. How many subs do I have?
But you also don't have to worry about, the now 4 other people that you're letting down by doing that because you're just...
Don't have to worry about that. Don't have to worry about fans criticizing me for underperforming because it's going to happen. In anything, you're going to have a bad game.
Yeah.
It's inevitable. Everyone's going to have a bad game. Yeah. You're going to have a bad game. You're playing the best people in the world. Like, you can't be expected. People have held me to such a high standard because I've held the bar at that high standard.
Yeah.
So I didn't have that bad of a year besides the last 2 events. Like, I had a decent year compared to all the other subs. Like, I was not that bad as people say. It's just I've always been 1-2 in the sub category. So it's like people hold me right there. So I had a mediocre year, like, in terms of everyone.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't have a bad year. But
still,
for me, I had
your
a
bad year was still better than 90% of the,
No, not better than 90% of the people. But, I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I didn't have a terrible year in retrospect of the whole submachine gun scene. Like, I had a bad year for my standards. And that's why people are criticizing me. So imagine if I didn't have to worry about that. I just get on, I'm going to play Fortnite, and I would get good at Fortnite because I used to be pretty good and I didn't play that much.
Yeah.
Like, if I played it every single day, I'm confident in my ability that I would be disgusted. Look at Jack. Jack's pretty good at Fortnite.
Yeah.
Jack was a caster.
Well, Jack's nasty, though. No, he's good. He's good at video games.
I know. Jack's good at video games. But he ain't.
He ain't Scumpy?
He ain't the upper echelon of...
Although he's at the top 1%.
He's not a unit. I mean, he's good. He's top... He's probably like top 10, top 20% of players, like skill-wise. But
he's not top 1%.
I know I could do it. I know I could do it. Because I've always been naturally good at PC. Not naturally good, but I've played a lot of them, so I've gotten good at them.
Salamander Man.
I know I could do it. Salamander Man. I 1v5 ranked Gs in CS, and I played for like a month straight. So imagine if I played for 6 months to a year. Like, I know I could do it.
He's like, what did you say? OpTic Scump? What did you say? OpTic Gaming.
OpTic Gaming's the best. He's like, Salamander Man. That kid's played at LANs. The kid that was saying that, he was shocked, and he's played at Counter-Strike LANs. And then there's just me at 2 a.m. just swiping on people.
Yes,
just one-tapping people. After a month straight, imagine 6 months, I'd be nasty. But...
How close in reality, right? Because I know we discussed retirement, and I said I would never, ever let you... retire and on such a low level. Not after you built, not after what you worked so hard on, not after like everything that you built. I would never allow you to do something like that, even if I had to beat the shit out of you, right? I mean, with a loving hand. But those are discussions that you and I have, and that's what it is, right? But the discussions that you have with yourself internally, right, in your own head, how close, how big of a thought was that really? Because you can say it out loud, and it's just this like. But in your head, we never know if you're. I wouldn't know if you're 30%, like just saying that, or if you're like 99%.
I wanted out.
You wanted out.
I wanted out, but after playing Blackout, I went back in. So it's like, but after World War II, after our dynasty fell apart, that's when it was like, that's the highest it's ever gonna go. Like, that will never be done again, in my opinion, in Call of Duty. That run will never be done again.
You don't know that.
There's so much competition now, and it spreads so...
I mean, the same... it's spread now.
It spreads so thin across so many different teams. Like, there are so many good players now, and everyone's at the highest level at this point. Mm-hmm. Like, when we were on our run, we were those guys.
Yeah.
But now it's like, there's those guys. There's like 2 of them on every team at least.
Yeah.
So it's so much harder now to stay number 1 for back to back to back. It's like TK did it back to back. Did Rise go back to back this year?
I don't think. Yeah, they did.
I think they did.
Yeah,
so,
they did.
They went back to back.
And then Namus called them a dynasty.
And then the motherfucker got 16th at champs. No disrespect to Rise, because obviously they were disgusting.
Yeah.
But that's World War II for you. So I mean, we'll see how Black Ops 4 is. We'll see how, because World War II, in my opinion, didn't have much of a skill yet.
The team that we have in mind, or that we haven't announced, how confident are you in that team?
Obviously, very confident. We're gonna be nasty.
Nasty,
in my opinion.
Yeah. What about
on paper? We're nasty.
On paper, you're nasty.
It clicks.
Hopefully, it clicks.
Because last year on paper we were nasty too, and the shit didn't click. So hopefully it clicks.
What about from a content standpoint? Are they funny enough? Are they
idiots?
Yeah. Happy?
Idiots.
Are you happy with?
I love them. They're idiots.
Okay, good.
They're both idiots.
So you were at like 99 point there on the retirement. What made you say I'm just gonna just blackout and in the future or what it is? What?
You saying what made me want to come back?
Oh, what made you get away from that sort of negative place that you were in, where you were considering retiring? Because it couldn't have been just like because if you're really there, and if mentally you were like there, and it's not just like a switch where you're just like, oh, I'm back. You know what I'm saying? So either you were all the way there, or you were 50% there, or you were 30% there, which is why I asked that question, because you and I have conversations nonstop about this, and then I tell you that I'm not gonna let you do that, and that. But even through those conversations, I didn't know if you were 30% there, 50% there, 75% there, or like you just said, you really did want to do it.
I wouldn't say something if I didn't want to. I wanted to retire.
Yeah.
I did. World War II was the worst COD ever made, and it's not even close.
So what made you?
It's not even close.
What talked you off the ledge of essentially of not doing that?
I mean, placing top 24 champs didn't help. Placing 7th, 8th at playoffs didn't help. We got last at the last two. The two biggest events, which are usually my best events, like personal wise, like individually as a player, those are usually the events where I go in and fry.
Yeah.
I was the opposite of the spectrum. So that was motivating to me, at least a couple weeks after. Obviously, right after champs was over, I'm like, this, I'm out. Like, I don't want to play anymore. But a couple weeks later, I was like, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna around and come back and show him who's the man again. Like that was what
it couldn't have felt good, man. Being praised as
it didn't feel good at all.
To be doubted, after everything that you've done.
I'm still doubted. People act like I fell off the earth in Call of Duty, and it's like,
nah,
I'll be back.
Yeah, I personally have no doubts. Obviously.
The casters, like all the players, all the new players, like you've had one good year where you won 3 events. I've had years where I've won 9 events, and that was like maybe the best year you'll ever have.
What did Eminem say to Machine Gun Kelly?
It's not even like that. It's
I know, but I mean,
people doubt me, and it's like, bro,
it relates to it a little bit in some cases, I think, because and as a young gun coming up, you want people. Some of these professionals grew up in Call of Duty, just seeing the stardom that you brought to Call of Duty. They've seen the life that you live. Nice car, nice place, always have whatever you want, and at the same time being the best and winning championships. So some of these players that you're competing against now, like, have been working their entire lives to be you and to beat you, right? So the second that they get an opportunity to, like, sort of take a shortcut not take a shortcut, but accomplish the goal of beating you, you have to celebrate that a little bit. I mean, look at.
I'm not hating on them. I think every player needs to have an ego, because if you don't have an ego, and ego is confidence. Obviously, you don't want to be the guy on Twitter like showboating and I did this. Yeah. You don't want to be that guy. But internally, you need to have an ego and have that self-confidence. But some people in the professional scene go about it the wrong way.
It's funny that you bring up ego, because yesterday or in the previous podcast.
And I'll be the one to say, I've done some dumb shit on Twitter too. I'm sorry to cut you off. I've had an ego on Twitter. I've said stupid shit, which everyone's going to.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's going to eventually slip up. Someone's going to piss them off. Someone's going to say something stupid. They're going to retaliate.
Yeah. Do you think that's fair though, for people to judge people that defend themselves on Twitter though? Like, they almost expect you this. I don't know what. Yesterday, some dude says, like, I wouldn't expect a CEO of a company to talk.
At the end of the day, you're always gonna have people chatting up your tree. Like, you're always gonna have people doing that shit. Like, one day, people were talking shit on me. They were like, "You've only won 1 champs," and it's like, bro, 9 months ago, your argument was you've never won a champs. Now I've only won 1. Like, when the f*** are you gonna get off my sack? Like,
yeah.
when are you going to hop off? Like, what do I have to do? So one day I went out and somebody gave me a stat sheet of the past 3 years.
Yeah.
And it was like, who's been the most consistent player the past 3 years?
Yeah.
And I posted the stat sheet. I'm like, there you go. There's proof. Yeah, I've had some bad placings at champs.
Yeah.
But there's proof.
Yeah.
Who had a 1.3 at champs when we got 7th? Me.
Yeah.
Like, I still had a 1.3.
Yeah.
You should not be losing with that. And then people are like, well, you're playing wrong. And it's like, no, I'm not. I've won 26 tournaments. Like, I play right. Like, I don't play the game wrong. Mm-hmm. It's just like, when will you get off? And even pros say that shit. And it's like, are you trying to make yourself feel better? Like, what is your excuse?
I don't know. I mean, I don't even want to say jealousy, but, it has a little bit to do with that.
But you know what I'm saying? So, like, at a certain point, it gets a little aggravating to me. And it's like, I mean, this year, I'll take the criticism. I'll take it. Yeah. The pros are throwing some shots, and I usually brush them off. I laugh. I laugh with them. I'm like, yeah, I suck this year. Yeah. Like, you got me. Yeah, I was bad. But, like, at a certain point, it just gets aggravating and annoying, Yeah. So I have to retaliate. I have to be the douche and defend myself, because if I don't, then they'll just keep believing it.
And look, I'm old, so I'll say this, but I think defending yourself should always be a number one priority for your self-esteem and for your well-being. You can't be a punching bag even when people want you to be a punching bag. The dude said, it's not because Pat said that OpTic got saved because of the way that the pro points worked,
which is funny.
Yeah, and I said, I'm like, and jokingly, I'm like, what's up, man? Do you want people to watch or not?
I saw.
So, and then somebody said, oh my God, I can't believe a CEO of an organization would say that. And I'm like, I love Call of Duty. It's my shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it changed my life for the better. So I've done more good than any bad, right? And when I clap back, I'm like, dude, I can't allow anybody. I would never let anyone just attack me or talk shit to me without ever responding. That is not how I grew up. It is not. I come from an accountability sort of community as a growing up in the 90s. That and I'm talking about the entire community of 90s, right? When somebody said something, that's what you said. You as a person said that. You have to be held accountable for that. And if somebody wants to approach you a certain way about it and talk about it, you have to defend yourself. There was no not defending yourself where I grew up. So I don't understand at what point humanity took this sort of shift where we have to like.
Bro, I'll say it right now. The world we live in now, everyone are just, not everyone, but there are a lot of pussies.
There are, right?
Now, dude, a lot of just soft, sensitive. I'm soft and sensitive, but there's like people worse than me, and I'm just like, I'm sitting on Twitter looking at stuff just like, dude, what happened to you? Like, some of the shit people say to me, it's like, dude, what? Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm like, what happened to you? Like, some of the shit people say is just so absurd.
It's like, who hurt you and why did you let them hurt you?
When pros talk shit about us, like, I'm just sitting here like, what did I ever do to you?
Yeah.
Like, what have I ever said about you? I've probably said some shit about some people.
Yeah.
Like, I've probably done some wrong along the lines, but everyone does.
Yeah.
Like, the ego. Like, I've said some stupid shit in my career, but, like, where do you get off? Like, relax. Like, I can't believe some of the...
Yeah, as I was saying, we talked about ego. I talked about ego in Nadeshot, and I said that if it wasn't for my confidence, all my life, I don't think I would have ever gotten to the place. Because if you don't have confidence within yourself, it's going to rub off on other people, and they're going to not have confidence in you. If you yourself don't have your own back,
and that's where I felt like I was this year. I didn't have confidence in myself and my ability this year because I just wasn't good at the game. I didn't enjoy the game. I wasn't getting in practice. Whatever you want to say. Same thing happened to me. I wasn't confident in myself, and then people started doubting me because my in-game was showing that I wasn't confident in myself. And this has been the first time ever in Call of Duty that I haven't been confident.
I asked the Counter-Strike team, not our current one, but when it was Rush, Oscar, and I don't remember who else, but I asked, can you be the best at whatever esport you're playing if you don't love playing it?
Nope. It's not possible.
So if you don't like it, you cannot be the best at it.
I saw it on Ballers a couple nights ago, and they said it's whenever Ricky Jarrett. You've seen Ballers?
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil the show for people.
I've seen. Well,
but he wants to come out of retirement. We'll just cut to the chase. He wants to come out of retirement, and
is this season 3?
Yeah.
It just started? Okay, well, chill the out. Don't spill it. But go on.
Okay, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
I also see how selfish I am. I was okay with you spoiling for other people because I thought you were going to talk about season 1 or 2.
No,
but it was season 3. I haven't watched it immediately.
It's just the gist of it. He wants to come out of retirement.
Yeah.
His agent asks him, "Why are you doing it?" And his agent goes on to say, "Are you doing it for the money, cars, and hoes, or are you doing it because you love the game?" And he said, "If you're doing it because you want the money, cars, and hoes, you're done.
Yeah.
Like you're done."
I agree.
And that's facts. Like you have to have passion, or you're because it'll show.
No, absolutely. I mean, I don't want to say look at OpTic right now, but if you look at the overall brand or where we're at right now, I've taken a heavy step back and focused on my own stuff, and it's not as I'm not polishing OpTic as much as I used to, and it shows. And I agree 100% with that. I agree that if you don't have the passion or the grit to fight for what you like, you're never ever gonna reach those sort of heights. So
because passion comes from the heart, and once you lose the heart, that's it. Like you need to be playing with your heart on your sleeve up there all the time. You need to be going 110% because if you're not, the other guy is, especially against us because we're OpTic Gaming.
Yeah.
If I'm not going 110% every single match, we are going to lose because that kid over there is going 150%.
Yeah.
Like to beat us.
Yeah.
To silence our fans. Like to silence us, to silence everyone. Like they're going so hard.
Yeah.
So the minute you lose passion, especially for our team, that's it.
Yeah.
Done.
And I think that luckily I always say that we have to appreciate the lows to enjoy the highs. And I always say that it's not good for Call of Duty when one team wins nonstop. It's selfish for us because we did that. We won nonstop and it was good for us. But I think that because of the year that we just had, the storyline behind OpTic,
we've had lows. We've never had a consistent low like last year, though.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Never in the history of Call of Duty or OpTic have we ever had that sort of shit year. So the storyline that happens now is, will Crim6 continue to be the most winningest player in Call of Duty, or where's the storyline where somebody's going to overtake him in winnings, right? Is Seth going to be able to come off a year that...
Well, people already overtook him in winnings and championships.
Who did?
I think Damon's ahead of him.
Okay, well, yeah.
I think he's second. He might be third. JCap might be in front of him.
In winning? In like money winnings? Or
money winnings.
Okay, now I'm talking about championships.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, in championships. Can somebody catch up to... Is Seth going to be able to come back and recover from a year that was, for the most part, something that we were going to call the dark ages in 2 years? I think the storylines and the reason that I'm so bullish about the success of Call of Duty this upcoming year is, Blackout, everybody's sort of revitalized in a sense of oh my god, fresh new thing.
It was refreshing.
Yeah, so
playing Blackout was refreshing.
Yeah,
even for the past 4 years, like for me, I enjoyed AW competitively. Terrible pub game, which is what I like to do in my spare time, is play pubs and work on the little things, That's why I've always been so good, because I played so many pubs. Black Ops 3, best pub game ever. I was nasty at Black Ops 3. I was nasty at AW too, but I was nasty at Black Ops 3. Moving on to IW, I was bad at IW at the start of the game, got better at the end of the game because I found my love for it again because of Formal. Formal pushed me. He was like, "What you doing? Like, you're sucking, get into it." So Formal gave me that push, and then I was like, you know what, you're right. And then I started putting the extra time in, and I got better, and we won champs. So it's like, at the end of the day, I need a good public system, and I need a good game to enjoy what I'm doing and be good. Like, IW is a perfect example. I was not that good at the beginning of IW. World War II, I didn't enjoy it the whole way through, and no one gave me that push.
Yeah, and I mean, how much can you push somebody when you're playing something that you don't like to play? I personally, as a Call of Duty lover, I couldn't get into it. The same way that I couldn't get into Infinite Warfare, and I played Modern Warfare 4. For me, remaster was what revitalized sort of, or am I saying everything revitalized? Yeah, right. That sort of rejuvenated my love for Call of Duty, back to where it was, and I think Blackout did as well. I couldn't get off the game. My only struggle right now is deciding whether or not I'm gonna be playing PC or I'm gonna be playing, on console.
It's a good problem to have.
It is, isn't it? I guess I had a question to wrap this all up, but we didn't get a chance to talk about the possibility of franchising in Call of Duty down the line, and Nate and I talked about it a little bit. And like, obviously, do you think, like, where does it go? What are the possibilities there? Because obviously, when we did the Outlaws thing, we had to rename it to Outlaws. But when we had League of Legends, we didn't have to change that. The regionality the region opportunity of Call of Duty, the same way that Outlaws did. Do you think that's good? Do you think that where do you think it falls in terms of, is it a good thing that we can be associated as like the Chicago OpTic or the Chicago whatever, the Houston Jurassic Parks? Do you think that's good or bad?
I think it's very good, especially for Call of Duty, because Call of Duty is a North American esport.
Yeah.
League of Legends, that's like, isn't it Korean? Is it mostly an Asian esport?
Yeah, I mean, the best teams are from there, but it's a global esport.
But the majority of the player base is like from Asia, correct?
East, yeah.
So Counter-Strike didn't do it.
Counter-Strike is like, yeah.
But you know I'm talking. You know where I'm going with that.
Yeah.
That's an European game.
Yeah.
Overwatch is a European game too, I'm pretty sure. It's like, or not European, an Asian game as well. A majority of the players are Asian.
Yeah.
So like, I think that franchising Call of Duty would benefit us more because we are the first North American, like heavy North American esport that would have done it. All the other games aren't. Obviously, they have a big North American reach.
Yeah.
But Call of Duty is a North American esport. You have a couple European teams, one Australian team that comes to the events and does well. It's a North American esport.
Yeah.
Whether people want to accept that or not.
I mean, there have been, Splice won. They're European.
No, I know. Like I said, there's a couple European teams that can compete. There's a couple Australian teams that can compete. But other than that, it's all NA. Right. And a majority of the viewership is NA.
In my opinion, I like putting regions assignment to certain teams. I can also argue that because of esports and how global in the ability to think about somebody from London, right? That gets our fan base is large in London. Shout out to me bruvs out there. We have a massive fan base in globally, but in London specifically. What happens when Splice becomes the London Splice? Where
and we fly there?
No, we don't necessarily fly there, but the fans that are OpTic fans from the UK, from London specifically, let's just say from London, the city of London. There's like, are they now torn between country and team?
See, I don't think they would be.
Do you think they still support OpTic?
Because I think our roots are so deep that if you supported OpTic since Black Ops 2, you're not going to be torn.
No.
Like, you're still going to support OpTic.
Yeah.
Because our roots are, like I said, buried so deep at this point.
The only reason I say that is because, I don't know, I've always felt as though having the ability to reach as many people as we have reached in the past, 10 to 13 years, like that has a lot to do with the fact that we're not associated to one specific place or one specific region. We live on the internet. We don't live in Dallas. We don't live in New York. We don't live in Los Angeles. We live on the internet, and everybody is a citizen of the internet. So therefore, they become like they get to pick and choose. But when you put this sort of, I'm from Wheeling, Illinois, for example. I would be torn if OpTic was from Buffalo Grove, which is the neighboring city who we played against.
I see what you're saying.
I would be a little bit torn, and it's happened before where I'm a big fan of quarterbacks, and at the time Brett Favre was always my favorite quarterback. He was on the Packers, but I'm from Chicago, so I'm a Chicago Bears fan. So every single time that the Packers play Chicago, that was the only time where I chose my alliance to Chicago. But any other time, I was also a Brett Favre fan.
No, yeah, I feel that. Because I'm from Pennsylvania. I don't like the Steelers. I don't like the Eagles. I don't like the Phillies. I don't like any Pennsylvania sports teams. Well, actually, that's opposite. That's opposite of what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like Pennsylvania sports teams.
Okay, so there is hope.
No, yeah, there's hope, obviously. But I forget what my point was, but I'm saying I'm opposite of you.
Yeah. So what do you feel about franchising? Do you think that it's something that needs to happen for Call of Duty to continue to thrive, or?
I don't think it needs to happen. I think it would help. I think it would bring a lot more, obviously, financials into Call of Duty, a lot more eyes, a lot more media, stuff like that. Yeah. I don't see it being a bad thing. How could it be a bad thing? How does this franchising go wrong? I don't even know.
Well,
you would know more than me.
I mean, no.
The investors lose money. That's how it goes wrong.
No, I mean, yeah. I mean, ultimately, I guess, yeah. Luckily, Overwatch has had a really, really good year, so we're fine in that regard. I don't know. I just think the separation of what we live in now, like even now, right? If you think about the way we just went from 4 to 5, that changes. I mean, I obviously see the bigger picture, and I see that we met halfway, where before we used to play 6v6 in pubs and 4v4 in competitive. We met in the middle, and we're now playing 5. Everyone's playing 5 now. Competitors are playing 5, and the casuals are playing 5. Let's meet in the middle. Let's turn what the game we have here into the box. So for franchising, I think that's a level of change that we don't know. I mean, we just opened up an AM sort of community, right? We're supporting the amateur community more, but at the same time, we're sort of, there are those Cinderella stories that may continue to happen where somebody breaks through, and then there's room for that. But you're also going away from the fact, from tradition, from culture that we've created as Call of Duty players.
But I don't think it changes anything, really. Like, what does franchising change for players?
A lot.
What does it change?
A lot.
We're still competing.
Yeah.
We're still doing the same stuff.
Salaries will be better.
Salaries, healthcare, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like, other than that, what changes for players when it franchises? I feel like franchising is more on the back end, the viewership end, the fan base end. Like, I feel like franchising legitimizes the esport more.
Agreed.
Like, I feel like franchising doesn't do it helps the players obviously in many different ways, but it doesn't change what the players are doing. You see what I'm saying?
I do. I'm for it 100%.
Like, it legitimizes it as more of a esport, I guess, to everybody else.
Yeah.
To the viewers, to media, to investors, people investing money, to sponsors, to the people that run the orgs. Like, I feel like it changes more for them than it does for the players.
I think the only change that I see again is the regional part of it. But having seen the success of it with the viewing party and the watch parties of the Houston Outlaws, like, people show up, when they have weekly matches as we used to.
See, now that's really cool. Like, having the Houston Outlaws and having a bar like Nerdvana, where you can go and watch the game whenever they're playing and get drunk while you're doing it. It's like having a sports bar, but it's an esports bar. Now, that is awesome.
That is awesome.
And if every single city had that for their team, that would be the coolest part of franchising. If like everyone had a
everybody getting together in person and celebrating
everyone had a
the same
meeting
team.
ground, I mean, that would be sick. But that's not obviously franchising. It is.
It is.
You get investment to do shit like that.
Yeah, we have OpTic parties. We can have that. That's not even a thing. I'm just, I want to make sure that every member of the Green Wall understands that no matter where this goes, you're a member of the Green Wall first, then whatever city you're associated with comes second.
See, I think it would be
rules
cool.
above any other.
I think it would be cool.
We've seen documentation. Richard Lewis has put out several sort of investment reports where they allude to it. That Call of Duty might be following in the footsteps of Outlaws. Or
I was gonna say
Activision Blizzard
that if there's a time to do it, it's next year, because obviously this year is going to be huge. I'm already setting this year up to be huge. Like, I'm already putting it in my mind that this year is going to be huge for Call of Duty.
And you're going to take full advantage of everything.
Yes, and I think a lot of people are saying that as well. Because with Blackout, content is for days.
Endless, right?
And then that's not even the end. You have zombies and multiplayer on top of that. So there's just so many avenues for different content for this year. I just can't see it being bad. Even if it's the worst Call of Duty of all time in the multiplayer, who gives a shit when people are playing Blackout? It's not going to be the worst Call of Duty ever in multiplayer.
I played it. I loved it.
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying. Even if that flopped, you still have Blackout. Or even if Blackout flopped, well, we don't want Blackout to flop. We sort of need Blackout.
No, Blackout's not going to flop.
But this is the year.
It's nearly impossible for it to flop. The amount of how good the game was in beta stage, it's crazy. And Vonderhaar was saying that they have so much more to go. So, and I asked him, I'm like, is the Call of Duty... Is Blackout? Blackout's the map, that has little maps within it. I'm like, is the Blackout map a living and breathing, ever-changing organism that will have...
Like Fortnite's map.
Yeah.
Yesterday, the cube just went into the lake, and now it's a bouncy lake, which is awesome.
Yeah, you had fun? Have you been playing that?
Yeah, I've been grinding Fortnite.
So what do you?
I'm trying to get good so I can stream it.
How are you going to balance like all of that? And you know, I think if we make this a team effort, I think that everybody on your team will benefit from having the freedom to stream. You know, and it's a discussion. I know Crim6 is like dying to continue to create content this year specifically. I think everybody is. So again, I'm bullish about how successful Call of Duty is going to be this year.
Well, I want to be the team that revitalizes the not love for streaming, because everyone still has that.
Yeah.
They just feel like they can't. I want to be the team that's like, we don't give a shit. Okay. You can watch us play. We're still going to win the event.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be that team again, because we were that team in AW.
Yeah.
And we were all very successful individually in AW in terms of content and putting stuff out for our fans. Like, we were winning tournaments while doing the content. It's doable. We've done it. I don't see why everyone went so crazy. I don't want to go back into it, but I want this year, I want to redo that. I want to go back to streaming scrims, having fun in scrims, talking shit for the fans, for the stream. Like, I used to love that.
Entertain, yeah.
I used to love that. Like, talking shit to Clayster back in the day and Nadeshot and Bose. Like, we would just go in on each other on stream, and people loved it. That's why we were so successful as a brand. And we just strayed away from it. For what? Because we started losing a couple tournaments?
Yeah.
Not because not because we were streaming, dude. We didn't play good in the match.
Well, personally, I was against it. Obviously, as you know, I'm content first above anything else. But yeah, I really hope that you guys do follow through with that.
I want to really bad.
What did you say? Going to the gym is getting out the door, right? So
But it's not. I've wanted to stream our scrims.
Yeah.
I was being told no. Like, we don't want to stream scrims. And I can't say like, F you. Like, that's how you get your teammates to not like you, right?
Yeah.
They're right there.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I don't know. I think maybe encouragement. You know, you encourage them to stream a little bit. I think that'd be something good.
Yeah. Oh, yo, bro. How about this? I'll stream our first set of scrims. Afterwards, I'll turn off my stream and host you, and I'll give you the viewership.
And just have that sort of rotation. I love it, man.
But like, stuff like that, like, it's so. Like, I used to be selfish, so did Nadeshot back in the day.
100%.
We were competing against each other because we both wanted to be that guy.
But because you competed with each other, you guys
we
raised each
hindered
other.
Ourselves.
Yeah, you think so, but I think
we
you
did
raised,
hinder ourselves.
In occasions, yes, but I think that you guys raised your level of whatever it was that you got. Like, you raised each other with that internal competition more than you hurt.
We did raise each other, but at the same time, we raised each other to work harder against each other. If we would have put that same energy into working together, me and Nadeshot, we haven't really talked about this. We still haven't shot the shit like about the old days.
Yeah,
we gotta hash this out.
So we'll end it with this. Okay, we'll end this podcast with this. Having the conversation with him, he's super down to make 60/50 Russell Drive podcast with you, him, Merc, and Big Timer, and obviously me, obviously. But I think the fans want it, and more importantly, I think it's needed to sort of relive those sort of things, and then just have that casual conversation about the good old days at 60/50 Russell Drive. So would you be down? Can you sacrifice 1 hour a week to allocate for 60/50 Russell Drive?
Yeah.
Is that a promise?
Yeah.
Wait, you're not going to ask what channels are going on?
What channels?
It's going on HECZ channel.
That's fine.
No, yeah, right. You're right.
I get episode 2.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, no, I think it's a good opportunity. I think that we should definitely look into it. But again, thank you for making time. I know that I'm here, and
what time is it?
I drove an hour and a half here to do this podcast. That's how important this podcast is.
Wait, did you have your own car or did you get an Uber?
Uber. It's 1:20.
Oh, we got plenty of time
to go food, right?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's end the podcast. Everybody, thank you so much for listening to episode number 4 of the Eavesdrop. We are syndicated on both.
Wait, how'd I do?
Good.
Was it good?
Yeah.
I wasn't too douchey?
No, what the no, I kind of want to put you at the number 1 spot. So it happens like constantly. I want this to be the launching episode because it was so good. And I think that this one is good because
this one got real.
This one got really real. And I think I
don't say this shit.
I know.
I don't say this shit to the public.
I know.
Ever.
Well, that's why the podcast is good. It's a conversation more than anything. It's the eavesdrop. You get to hear it and on all platforms. YouTube, obviously, as you're watching right now. But if you want to listen to the episodes ahead of time, by a day or two, you can down or subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, Google Cast, everything like down below. So please subscribe. We'll see you guys on the next one. Sethi, thank you so much, bro.